Have you ever wondered what stories lie hidden in the world's forgotten corners? From crumbling castles in Europe to deserted amusement parks in Asia, abandoned places offer a haunting glimpse into the past. These silent ruins, frozen in time, tell tales of war, mystery, tragedy, and nature reclaiming its space. In this journey, we'll explore some of the most fascinating abandoned spots around the globe, where history whispers through the cracks and every shadow hides a secret. Today, we will talk about exploring abandoned places around the world. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. 1. Pripyat, Ukraine, the ghost city of Chernobyl. Perhaps the most infamous abandoned city in the world, Pripyat in northern Ukraine was evacuated in April 1986 following the catastrophic explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Once home to nearly 50,000 people, mostly plant workers and their families, Pripyat was a thriving Soviet model city with schools, hospitals, a stadium, and even an amusement park that was set to open just days after the disaster. Today, the city stands frozen in time. Rusting Ferris wheels, crumbling apartment blocks, and textbooks scattered on classroom floors offer a chilling glimpse into life before the meltdown. Radiation levels have dropped enough in some areas to allow guided tours, which are closely monitored for safety. Pripyat is a stark reminder of nuclear power's potential risks and a magnet for thrill-seekers and history buffs alike. 2. Hashima Island, Japan. The battleship island, Hashima Island, commonly known as Gunkan-jima or Battleship Island due to its shape, lies off the coast of Nagasaki. It was once a bustling coal mining facility operated by Mitsubishi, housing over 5,000 residents in the 1950s. During its peak, the island was known for having one of the highest population densities on Earth. When petroleum replaced coal as Japan's main energy source, the mine closed in 1974, and the island was completely abandoned. Concrete apartment complexes, schools, and a hospital now sit in eerie silence, battered by sea winds and overgrown by nature. Hashima gained international attention when it featured in the James Bond film Skyfall. Due to the island's structural fragility, much of it remains off-limits to tourists, but parts are accessible via organized boat tours from Nagasaki. Its haunting fortress-like silhouette is a monument to Japan's industrial era and a poignant symbol of urban desolation. 3. Kolmanskop, Namibia, a desert ghost town. Once a prosperous diamond mining town built by Germans in the early 1900s, Kolmanskop now lies half-buried in Namibia's Namib Desert. At its height, Kolmanskop boasted amenities rare in the region at the time, including a hospital, school, casino, and even an ice factory. When diamond resources dwindled after World War I, residents began to leave, and by 1956 the town was fully abandoned. Today the desert has begun to swallow the remaining structures. Sand flows through broken windows, and dunes pile up inside former mansions. The contrast of pastel-colored German colonial architecture against the stark, sandy environment creates a surreal visual experience. Tourists can explore the ghost town with permits, and photographers flock here to capture the dreamlike fusion of human creation and natural reclamation. 4. Centralia, Pennsylvania, USA. The Eternal Fire. Centralia was once a small but lively coal mining town in Pennsylvania. In 1962, a landfill fire accidentally ignited an underground coal seam, and the blaze has been burning ever since. Authorities attempted to extinguish it for years, but the fire proved unstoppable, emitting dangerous levels of carbon monoxide and causing ground collapses. In the 1980s, the government began relocating residents, and by the early 2000s, Centralia was virtually empty. Today, only a handful of people remain. The town's grid of empty streets, crumbling sidewalks, and graffiti-covered highway known as Graffiti Highway, which was recently covered by authorities, attract curious travelers. Warning signs litter the area, cautioning about sinkholes and toxic gases. Centralia's slow-burning fire has transformed it from a quiet mining town into a surreal apocalyptic landscape that continues to smolder underground. 5. Varosha, Cyprus, the fenced-off resort. Once a glittering resort town that attracted celebrities like Elizabeth Taylor and Bridget Bardot, Varosha is now in no man's land, frozen in 1974. Located in Famagusta, Cyprus, Varosha was abruptly abandoned when Turkish troops invaded in response to a Greek-led coup. The residents fled, expecting to return within days, but the town was fenced off by the Turkish military and has remained sealed ever since. Luxury hotels, shops, and beachfront properties now lie in ruin, overtaken by wildlife and sea spray. For decades, the area was off-limits, guarded and decaying. Only recently, in 2020, did Turkey reopen parts of Varosha for public access, leading to political controversy. Visitors can now walk among the ruins under supervision, witnessing how nature has reclaimed streets once buzzing with life. Varosha remains one of the most politically charged and haunting abandoned zones in the Mediterranean. 6. Bodie, California, USA. The Wild West frozen in time. Bodie is one of the best-preserved ghost towns from America's Gold Rush era. Located in the remote hills east of the Sierra Nevada mountains, Bodie once had over 10,000 residents in the late 1800s. With dozens of saloons, a red light district, and rampant crime, it was a true Wild West town. But when gold ran dry, people left in droves. By the 1940s, Bodie was officially abandoned. Today, it's a state historic park, maintained in a state of arrested decay, meaning buildings are preserved as they were found, weather-beaten but stabilized. Visitors can peer through windows into homes still furnished, schoolrooms with chalk on the boards, and general stores stocked with century-old goods. Bodie offers an authentic window into frontier life, untouched by modern development, and remains one of the most iconic ghost towns in the United States. 7. Oradour-sur-Glane, France, a village in mourning. Unlike many abandoned places that fell to economic ruin or natural disaster, Oradour-sur-Glane is a solemn war memorial. On June 10, 1944, Nazi SS troops massacred 642 civilians in this small French village as retribution for resistance activities. Men were shot, women and children were burned alive in the church. After the war, Charles de Gaulle declared the ruins should remain untouched as a testimony to Nazi barbarity. The charred remains of bicycles, sewing machines, and burnt-out cars lie where they fell. The village is meticulously preserved, with signs marking where atrocities occurred. Visitors can walk the empty streets and reflect on the horrors of war. A new town was built nearby, but the original remains a powerful open-air museum, a place of silence, memory, and historical reckoning. It serves as a reminder that abandoned places are not always forgotten. They are sometimes frozen to never be forgotten. 8. The Bielitz Heilstätten Hospital, Germany, crumbling sanatorium with a dark past. Located just outside Berlin, the Bielitz Heilstätten Hospital complex was originally built in the late 19th century as a tuberculosis sanatorium. It later served as a military hospital during both World Wars and treated Nazi soldiers, including a young Adolf Hitler. After World War II, the Soviet Army used it as a military hospital until they vacated in the 1990s. Since then, many of the buildings have remained abandoned. Ivy-covered facades, collapsed roofs, and rusted operating tables now define the site. The air of eerie abandonment is enhanced by the graffiti and peeling walls. Though partially used today for medical rehabilitation and occasional filming, the pianist Valkyrie, most of the complex is closed and guarded. Guided Lost Places tours allow explorers to walk through the decaying surgical wings and patient halls. Bielitz remains one of Europe's most atmospheric and spine-chilling urban ruins. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.